outrage in South Deering after a mother and child attacked on their way home from school. Casey Cronus is live outside of Orville Wright Elementary School with the very latest on this story. Casey, what can you tell us?
Hi, Sylvia. This video is heartbreaking to see. That woman, a 33-year-old, says she was walking her 9-year-old son home from school when they were jumped by a group of kids. And we need to warn you, the video is difficult to watch. We have frozen it before things escalate. Chicago police are now investigating after the woman named Korshonda and her son were viciously attacked near 106th and Bensley. That's just a couple blocks away from the elementary school. It happened yesterday shortly after dismissal. A group of kids approached them and started punching and kicking them. Korshonda says her son has been bullied at Wright and claims the administration has not done enough to protect him. Here's what happened yesterday in her own words.
So I asked my kids to come to the next side of the street with me so they wouldn't get jumped. So we kept walking. They followed us all the way there. And then they still fought us. They fought my son, hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair.
Going on, bro? Another one? So you telling me right now this is what we're going through right now? So now kids is beating up adults? So in Maryland, a mother and daughter was on a school bus with a bunch of middle schoolers who shouldn't have got on that bus, but they got on that bus. And I reposted the video, bro. It's another one, y'all. What the fuck is going on, man? What the fuck is going on? And it's always somebody in the background saying, beat the mama, go get him. Bro. I'm telling y'all. This shit getting out of hand. Don't bring that shit my way. I'm fucking some kids up. I'm letting you know straight up, nigga. Straight up. Bang, bang, bang. I'm fucking some kids up. Nigga, body slamming. Everything. Come on, y'all better leave us adults alone, bro. Leave us alone. Come on, man. That's crazy. This shit is becoming a trend.
The last few weeks have been difficult for Lakeisha Graves and her daughters, who say they were attacked by a group of students who had boarded a school bus that wasn't their own and attacked them.
You might as well go ahead and go home. Oh, might as well go ahead and go home. No. My Corvette dress. Might as well go ahead and go home. Get in the car. No. Go ahead and go home.
And then a 12-year-old rushes me, and then her friends follow up. And the boy punches my daughter in her face twice. And, from there you see them dragging me across the field by my hair.
According to Cambridge Police Chief Justin Todd, 4 of the subjects were referred to juvenile services.
Eat her up! Eat the mama! Eat the mama! Eat the mama!
We've seen juveniles escalate from assaults to vehicle thefts to robberies and homicides. We've seen it right here in our local community, and I think we're going to continue to see it until we see a difference and a change.
Graves says she met with Chief Todd and Dorchester County's Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jameel Thompson, and is working to address the violence with city leaders. But it still escapes her as to how this even happened in the first place.
I was flabbergasted that children would even approach an adult, let alone assault them. I was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form.
Lakeisha says she hopes action is taken, whether it's with the city of Cambridge, Dorchester County, or the school system, to prevent what happened to her and her daughter. And she's hoping action is taken soon before it ultimately costs someone their life. In Cambridge, Brian Roche, WMDT, because local matters.
Wow. I'd like to say, Kolam La Yahweh Shim Al Shah Bashim Kakadash, the bonus to the apostles of Elder Great Millstone, peace and stations of the hopeful elect, Shalom. And this is really just egregious to even, see that there's such news reports out there about how this young generation is just turning out to be. You know, and usually I would say, you know, by the time they reach the middle school, high school, it's like, you know, you start to see these kids turn out to be more wicked. And these little niggas, they gotta be put out, man. These little fucking gremlins, you know, these little genetically modified niggas, they have to be put out of their misery in the worst fashion. You know what I'm saying? They have to suffer a grievous, horrific, bloody death. And it just has to happen. Because, you know, I know it's the curses when the scriptures say about how, you know, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And this is, you know, what it's referring to in a sense. Because these little monsters, they go in the school system, you know, they pretty much consume, you know, this genetically modified food that's fed to them. And, you know, of course, Esau is doing witchcraft on a high level, which is affecting our people, you know, and helping our people to become more wicked, you know, polluting their minds with the music. And of course, you know, Jake growing up in the project buildings, you know, that's what's really, you know, fucking up our people for the most part, you know. And then it's like they're just waxing worse and worse, man. But the thing is that it's like what the woman was saying in the video, in the last video brought out. She said she's just so flabbergasted to see how, you know, kids at such an age could even attack an adult. And shit like this never went on in the ancient world, because even if a child was unruly to a small degree and disrespectful and had a slightest form of misbehavior, they would have been, you know, taken to the high priest and they would have been put to death, you know. And I'm gonna bring that out in Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 18. It says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this is our son, is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. And this is, you know, the righteous judgment that should be taking place to these little niggas, man. Because getting stoned to death, that's one horrible way to die. You know, when somebody beaming rocks in your head like a baseball, you know, like pitching a baseball at you, like that's how, you know, they beaming rocks in your head like that, like just throwing it at your head till it, you know, they crack your skull, you know. And of course, you know, they just aiming at all parts of your body, but mainly, of course, the head, you know, when they stone you. So, you know, however the Lord, you know, calls your spirit back to the spirit world, you know, with that type of way of dying, it's like maybe shit 15 to 30 minutes that you're gonna have to feel them rocks, you know, smashing against your, you know, your joints and things of that nature. But yeah, other than that, like, it goes to show you, but this generation and how wicked these niggas are becoming, they need a judgment like that. And honestly, they're gonna get a way worse judgment than that, you know, because when the Most High has Jacob's trouble to take place, you niggas are gonna really feel the, you know, the pain. You know, it's gonna be worse than all the ancient world torture that you could ever think about. The way the Most High gonna judge y'all. And in the second video, I remember this guy was saying something about how he would throw hands with these little niggas if they even try to touch him, you know. And you have to be like that, because these little niggas are horrible, you know. They go out just reckless. They, you know, steal from adults. They even try to run up in your crib and burglarize your homes, you know. And the thing is that this fucking place that we live in this country, like, there's no just laws against you know, how you deal with these unruly ass little niggas, especially in certain states like New York, you know, where they tell you about, you know, when they run up in your crib or something like that, that it's not a stand your ground, you know, type of state or whatever the case is. So they claim you have a right to retreat and call the cops or whatever, but you can't necessarily shoot them in your own house unless they're threatening your life. You know, the bullshit like that. Like, somebody running up in my crib is already a threat in my life. I don't know what the fuck the person has on them. I don't know what the fuck the person is capable of doing or who they know. So you gotta send a message and put their ass in the spirit world. And then even then, it's like you do run the risk of, you know, going to the judicial court system and being charged with a sentence and being slapped with a big ass, you know, 5 to 10 years or some shit just for manslaughter, for defending yourself, for doing a righteous killing. This is how you know that the devil's in power, and, you know, the rulers of this world is completely, you know, wicked, because of the simple fact that, you know, you defend these little minors, right? And look at the shit that they're capable of doing. They attack adults. Sometimes they even go as far as attacking the kid and the adult, like they did in the first video I brought out against that mother. And then it's one thing to be disrespectful and one thing to talk crazy, you know what I mean? But it's a whole nother different story when you actually are attacking a grown adult, you know, and their kid too. Because it's like, usually they would just like attack, you know, the kids or whatever, and then when the parent comes to the school, you know, the kid wouldn't even dare try to attack the parent. But now it's like getting to the point where the kids are now attacking the parents and they're attacking the kid at the same time. It's so horrible, you know, going to show you that these little niggas, they really need to be put to death, man. And this is Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near upon any man upon whom is the mark. And began at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And you see, this is pretty much a judgment that's going to happen. And, you know, the Lord does this, you know, slowly but surely, in a sense, you know, because he's always sending out judgment every day, but it's going to be intensified to where you're going to really see that these little niggas out here doing all this wickedness, because it's not even just like they're committing sins, they're committing iniquities, man. They're committing an excessive amount of sins, you know what I mean? Because iniquity is just simply an unequal balance of sins, you know, to where it's pretty much like outscaling righteousness. And, you know, of course, the Most High, to bring the balance, he has to, you know, do, you know, judgment. He has to have it to where the people that committed the iniquities have to be judged in a horrific fashion, you know, and that's how he's going to bring his righteousness. So, you know, it's not going to be far-fetched to see that the Lord is going to kill, you know, thousands of millions of wicked niggas, you know, in such a short amount of time, where it almost looks like the death, you know, from that movie Final Destination, where, you know, the Lord is doing so much deaths at one time. Like, let's say we're talking about, you know, thousands of people dying on a train or some shit like that, you know what I mean? And, you know, that's how the Lord, you know, gets down, of course, you know, where he can make hundreds of people, thousands of people die, you know, at the same, you know, time or whatever, within the same, you know, hour or something to that effect. And that's what has to happen on this earth, because people are just abusing, you know, the sins that they commit. And these little niggas are just waxing worse and worse because they feel like they're untouchable and unstoppable. And, you know, it's a thing where they're considered a minor, so they get away with doing, you know, the wickedness that they commit. And let me bring out this other precept. It says 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yahweh, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away." And scriptures also say that how because iniquity shall abound, the love of many is waxing cold. So these little niggas, with that being said, seeing how horrific and grimy they are, they do such a thing where they go as far as disrespecting adults, man. You got it to where they attack the teachers in the school system. They go as far as attacking adults in the public transportation. This is why they need the fathers in the households, because if the fathers were in the households, 8 to 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't find these kids going out there acting all disorderly and acting unruly. And let me bring out this other precept. It says in 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 23, it says, well, let's start at verse 22. It says, "So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elisha which he spake. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tear 42 and 2 children of them." And that's a beautiful judgment, because of course Elisha, what he said was Yahweh Shem Shalakariam, Ilka, basically upon these little niggas. And the Lord pretty much honored that curse, and that's what he did, is sent them 42 she-bears. Those 2 she-bears, which is 2 female bears, to tear up these 42 little niggas that kept mocking him. Because who knows, they could have been trying to also attack him too. And people think that like these little kids, like if they hear about that story, they probably think that, like, how can the Lord be that harsh? Well, I mean, look at these little niggas now. Those are most likely the same niggas like back then. If they were to be in this time period, which only the Most High knows who they are in a reincarnation, you could only imagine like the shit that they will be capable of doing in this time period, of course. Because these little niggas now, they wouldn't even just insult you. That would be the last thing on your mind. That would be the the least of your problems, if they just curse you out and disrespect you by words. Because they would literally try to spit on you, they would try to throw shit at you, they would try to attack you and all type of shit, and at the same time they would try to do it in public, try to record you and disrespect you. And you see, that's another thing too about how dumb these niggas are. You have some of them recording, literally putting out what they're doing on social media, and not even be covered up with face masks or nothing. They just will be out there to do it and have the pride to even post it on social media for clout. So dumb. And they do that to look tough in front of the eyes of many, which boosts and amplifies their pride to a whole nother level. That's why they need to be put down, man. Because realistically, the real remedy for these niggas is just a good, brutal, bloody death. Like Isaiah the 1st chapter said, the whole head is sick. There's no healing for Jake, man. There's no healing for these niggas. Because the only healing that's meant is just for the Lord to just put them out of their misery, make them suffer. And I know someone in the that I used to work with, like, I was still pretty cool with him in a sense. Of course he's in the world, so and it got to the point where I heard he recently got locked up because, of course, like, he went as far as you know, shooting at these 2 little niggas that jumped him in the park that he was you know, chilling at. And I don't know too much of the backstory, but you know, for the most part, you know, me just hearing about how these little niggas get down and how they operate, it's, you know, pretty much you know, asinine to just have to you know, continuously put up with the bullshit. And you know, there's only so much that we could do within our own power. That's why it's like, you know, I'm just so glad that the Lord gave me the opportunity to serve him, because it's like, you know, you get that temporary relief to a degree, you know, and it's like you got to just rest assured and, you know, stay, you know, hoping to the Lord, like, you know, praying to the Lord, and of course doing the work as much as possible, just so the Lord could be, you know, you could be in his good grace in his hands and things of that nature to pretty much find a covering and protection from dealing with these niggas. Because it's like, you know, you could just remember, like, being in the school system, it's like, especially in high school, it's like you almost have to fight a nigga every fucking day, you know what I mean? And you know, even when you play sports, it's almost like you gotta fight the goddamn teammates sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like you're in the same fucking team. You mean to tell me that you gotta deal with these little bitch ass niggas, you know what I mean, that especially if you play in a sport like football or whatever, you know, and you gotta pretty much be at war with your own teammates at times, and it almost feels like, damn, you might want to just join a different team, you know? Same thing like with the school you in. It's like you almost at war with your own people in a sense. It's like you feel like just going to a different school outside of, you know, of dealing with your own people sometimes. That's how fucked up Jake is, man. See, Jake is too small-minded to be thinking on a bigger level like that, like how they treating their own people within their own community, you know, how they doing their own people that's pretty much on the same team they're playing in, you know what I mean? Like, how bad does it look outside? But no, they just think of just humiliating, you know, those that's close to them, and, you know, humiliating those that's in their community, you know, even if they know that person or they don't know the person, whatever the case is, they don't even give a fuck. They're just trying to do whatever just to look tough and powerful, even if it deep down makes them look like a punk, because, you know, they're trying to attack people that are vulnerable, you know, humiliating people who, you know, are innocent to you and are completely vulnerable to you. And, you know, just Jake just have that sense of wanting to feel like they're powerful, you know. But yeah, I dare one of these little niggas to even fucking try to do some little shit like that to me. I know I'm gonna fuck you niggas up, like the guy said in the second video. You know what I mean? It's like, shit. But I bet you if you was to, you know, if it was be the other way around and the parents were, you know, like, let's say the mothers would beat the shit out of every single one of them, or even have a weapon to pull on them, now guess who's gonna be in trouble? You know, of course the parent will be in trouble. And you see, you got videos like this pretty much that's starting to make headlines on the news, and I bet you those little kids that's doing these things, they ain't gonna be charged that heavily because they're minors, you see. And that's how this fucking system gets down, because they're minors. They're not gonna really be charged, especially doing it to, let's say, since they all minorities, of course, they're doing it to their own kind of people. So, you know, of course, the charges ain't gonna be severe at all. But let them do it to a Jewish, you know, person, or let them do it to a Edomite, you know what I mean, like, or another nation, them charges gonna be higher, especially if they do it to Esau. So it goes to show you how much Esau really don't give a fuck about, you know, our people in a sense. But yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, they ain't getting away with jack shit, because scriptures say in Ecclesiastes 8:11, though a sinner may do evil 100 times, you know, like, he ain't gonna get away with it. The Lord's still gonna judge him. And of course, scriptures also say you reap what you sow. So whatever shit that you niggas are, doing, however much wickedness that you're doing, the Lord got a real grievous judgment for that, because the Lord said he's long suffering. So, you could boast in your pride, you could do all the wickedness that you possibly can and fulfill your desires in doing wickedness. That's just only for a temporary season. When you suffer in agony and pain, the Lord gonna stretch out them times and make you feel it, every bit of it, before you go to that spirit world. Because I'm telling you, man, you niggas need something way worse than the ancient world torture, the way you niggas operate. Like brothers say through the spirit, man, like the Lord can't come sooner enough. Like he can't even torture you niggas sooner enough. So we just gotta wait it out and just keep praying to hasten the day for you fucking niggas to be tortured, and of course for us to be delivered ultimately. But yeah, man, like to say, the bonus apostle Elsgrim Millstone, peace, I teach, hope for elect, shalom.